Well, hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if you are new, welcome to you as well. This is Christine, your DIY craftaholic. And this month is Christmas song inspired DIYs, and here are my 5 DIYs that we'll do today. So let's jump in our first one. Well, this is one of Dollar Tree wood frame tin board. And I downloaded these songs from the internet. They were free. I will leave a link in my description box. You'll just click on it and it will be loaded on your computer. And the first one I'm going to use, well, here I'm showing you that I wanted to have a distressed look. So I took a makeup sponge with some diluted antique wax, and that's what I did to the sheet. I printed these Christmas graphics from Creative Fabrica. They were free. And I printed them on the water slide sheet, and then I'm going to cut those out. The first Noel, I'm going to use that one. So I'm measuring because I want to fit that in the space. So I placed it on the board and I used a pencil to just mark where I needed to cut. And then I use a paper cutter and cut that out. So this is not like a picture frame where you can remove the back and take out the glass. So I had to cut the paper to fit it on top of the metal. And then I'm going to use my glue stick to just glue that down. And I had to fit it in there to make sure it would fit perfect. And then I use a little lifting tool or spatula to remove it so I can apply the glue. I applied the disappearing school glue to the back of it. And now that's done, I'm taking my sheet now that's already cut out. So here we have the first Noel. This font is called Christmas Seasonal. So I had to separate the words because it just would not fit straight across the board. And then I took some water on a little dish cover, and this is how we do the water slide. And I'm going to soak that in for 30 seconds and allow it to separate itself from the back piece. And then I just dried off the excess water on a piece of paper towel, place that on there, and then just slide the paper from underneath. But you have to make sure that it's not stretching or it's not crimpling up, because that's just gonna spoil the effect. And after you place it down, just use the same paper towel and dry up the excess water. If you want to see how I do this in detail, I'll link a video at the top, and I will also link the paper down below, so if you are interested. I got this from Amazon, and I did the same thing for the Noel. Next, I'm reusing this garland that came from something else. I don't remember quite exactly. I glued both ends together and then glued it at the top. I'm still embellishing, but I just wanted to show you this. I went to a park and I saw the tree with the little pine cones, and of course, you know, Christine could not leave them. So I picked a few, took them home, washed them properly, and then dried them in the microwave. And this is what they looked like when I dried it. I was so disappointed. So I decided to leave them for a couple days, and leaving them for a couple days revived them. They came back to life, opened up again, and I'm now using them in my DIYs. So I decided to glue a few of them on here at the top, and I just love them. But after I glued them on, I thought that I should have just dusted them with a little white paint, but you'll see what I did afterwards. So now I took a piece of this lace ribbon, and that's going to be for the hanger, and I'm gluing that at the back. And then I cut some berries from this pick and glue them in the empty spaces to just fill that up a little bit. And here I decided now that I needed to add some paint just to dust them a little bit and give them a snowy effect. And that's what I'm doing. And I believe this sign is done. Here it is. Let me know what you think about this one, guys. So this is our monthly 5 under 5. This month we have host Emily from Farm Charm Chic, and our guest host is Lisa from Lovin's the Life. We don't have Missy with us this month, but we are doing Christmas song inspired DIYs. Now I will leave the links as usual to the host channel and the guest host channel in the description box below, as well as the link for the playlist. I will also link that below the video so you can access the playlist easily. Now we're jumping into our second DIY. which is a picture frame using the song sheet Joy to the World. I got this picture frame from Dollar Tree, which is $1.25. So here I remove the plastic from the frame and back in the insert as well as a glass. The song sheet needed to be cut down, so I use a glass as a template to just mark where I needed to cut and then cut that out using the paper cutter. But if you don't have a paper cutter, of course you can use your scissors. Either will work fine. So now that we have that cut out, I'm now going to replace it. So I flipped it over again using the on top of the glass, and I replaced the insert that was there just for added support, and then replaced the backing and just fastened it. And this is about 70% complete. Now I went back to my words. I'm going to use the same title of the song, Joy to the World, and I'm going to do the same transfer method. Guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and you can also comment at this point if you like, or you just wait until the end of the video, whichever is better for you. Just leave me a comment nevertheless. I then used a little Mod Podge on a makeup sponge to just seal the word and protect the surface and make sure that it's all good. And now it's done. Now I wanted to give it a little bit more pizzazz, so I found this bow that was already made and just glued that right at the top there. And this is done, guys. Let me know what you think. Now we're moving into our third DIY. And this is the first Noel, again using a wooden frame. This is from Dollar Tree, one of their fall decor piece. Now remove that little pumpkin, and I'm now going to just heat up that. This is not something that you can just lift out. So rather than trying to soak off that paper, I'm just going to lift off that little piece that came off while I removed the top. And then I'm just going to lift one side, not taking off everything, so I can just move that out of the way while I work. And then I remove the tag from behind. And like I said, we're using the first Noel. So here I'm just measuring, lining up the word to make sure that it fits right in the center. And then I mark it, kind of just use my finger to crease where I needed to put the pencil mark. And then I cut that out using the paper cutter once again. And for some reason, I thought that this wasn't dirty enough. So I took the makeup sponge again, just dilute a little of the antique wax and just messing up this one a little bit more. It just looked too white. So once I got that done, it's now ready to glue this in. So I took the school glue again and applied some to the back. But while I was putting that in, I realized that I cut it a tad bit too small. But anyway, it had to work. So I glued that in there. Just use my little tool to just force under the paper in the creases. And this is one of those wood circle that came from a pack of 6. Got this from Walmart. I'd painted that with some Waverly crystal. And then I cut out the word Merry Christmas. And then again use the same water technique, because I'm going to add that there. If you are new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. I'm so happy you joined me today. Here on my channel, I do DIYs on a budget, dupes, look for less, and some occasional Dollar Tree shopping hauls and thrift flips. If you love budget-friendly DIYs like these and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit that notification bell. Hit it again and select all so YouTube notifies you whenever I upload new videos. And now that's done, I'm going to add this to the center. But to raise it off the paper, I'm going to use 3 beads. Just cut those in halves. And I'm using the miter cutter for that. And this thing is very sharp, so be careful. If you have a miter shear and you're using it, be careful. Or whatever sharp implement that you're using to cut anything, you have to exercise caution. And then I use a tweezer to hold them while I added some hot glue. Glue those down on 4 corners or 4 sides, however you want to look at it, either sides or corners. Now, to protect the surface of the paper, I'm just applying a little Mod Podge, not too much. And because I didn't want it to start soaking in the paper, I dried it with the heat, so I applied the Mod Podge. And now it's time to glue in our centerpiece. Now, because looking at it, it still needed something else, I decided to draw on some berry and mistletoe. Don't laugh at my mistletoe drawing. It will look much better once I paint it. So I painted the berries in red and the mistletoe in green using my paint pens. Next, to give it a little definition, I took the makeup sponge again with a little antique wax, diluted that, and just went around the edge to just distress that. And then when that dried, I applied some Mod Podge to seal that as well. And because the frame has a glossy finish, I decided to change the beads. So I'm using some of these that I got from Walmart, two-tone. And I selected 8 of them. And I'm just doing alternate colors. And then I just fasten that back to the back. Well, no, I didn't do that yet. I decided to glue on the inside. So I'm just adding some hot glue to the beads and then glue that in the center. Got that secured, and then I flipped it over and replaced the string. Used the miter shear to just fasten that. And then to add a little bit more two-tone, I took a piece of this jute cord, and because I said earlier that the paper was slightly too short, I'm using the jute cord to just cover that and to just add a little bit more embellishment. Once I got that done, I glued on a little jute bow at the top, and this is done. Let me know what you think. And this is $1.25 just for the frame because everything else I already had. But more in the final reveal. So for this one, I'm using this wood round that I got from Temu, and it is so thin, but I used one anyway. And I painted it with just one coat of Waverly plaster, and that dried. And now here I am just measuring the song sheet on top of it, make sure that I got the word in the middle. And I'm just going to apply some Mod Podge and just spread it on very thin, and I'm doing it in sections. So I put the top part down and dried that using the heat gun. But as I placed the paper down and was drying it with the heat gun, I realized that it was not sticking. So I just followed the same process. I put the tacky glue down, used the brush and spread it thin. And then use the brayer to smooth it out, and then the heat gun to dry it, and that worked fine. Next, I use a sanding block to sand off the excess. So now we're ready to embellish. So rather than using the antique wax and the makeup sponge to distress the edge, I just decided to use some of this ink and the stencil brush and just went around the edge with the black. And I like the effect that it gave this one. I should have done that for the others. Then after that was done, I selected the graphic that says Happy Birthday Jesus, and I'm cutting that out. And of course this is also water slide decal, so I did the same thing for that one. And here I'm taking this greenery and I cut 2 pieces, and I'm going to embellish the top. I made a bow from red ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, but before I did that I flipped it over and I'm going to add some beads. These beads I had in my stash. I just used a piece of the butcher's twine and added those, and then I'm going to glue that at the back. And to keep the hanger from swinging around or moving around, I just added a little hot glue right at the top to keep them in place. And then I flipped it back over, and I'm now gluing on the greenery, and then glue the bow on top of that and kind of tuck the tails below the greenery so that they're not flying all over the place. And of course I'm not done yet. You think me done? Me not done yet. See, my little dish of pine cones came back out, and here I'm just trying to find the right size of pine cones to glue those on. And if you notice, I still have not snowed them up yet. I'll do that in the end. But I selected a few and glued them on there. This was after I glued them on. I realized that I should have snowed them up. So I went off camera and did that. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. This is also under $5. So now we're on to DIY number 5, and I'll be making some ornaments. So I painted the rest of the wood circles that I had, painted those. And when those dried, I cut down the song sheet, glued them on and cut them down. But for these, I wanted them to have that little hanger at the back. So I kind of freehand a little hanger thing and trace that out. Guys, if you are enjoying the video and if you have made it to this far, please go ahead and subscribe if you have not yet done so. And if you are coming over from any of the other channels, welcome. And here I am doing the same thing like I did with the wood round. I'm just distressing the edge. And then I cut out the little hangers and I used my hole punch and punched holes in it. And now I'm using the tacky glue to glue that on at the back. I hope you enjoy budget-friendly content, because budget-friendly content is what you will find on this channel. So I'm gluing on the little hanger piece. And of course, if you don't have hangers, you don't have to worry about creating anything. You can just glue on your string directly to the wood, or you can, if you have a drill, you can drill holes. If you have a punch, you can punch holes. But I just decided to do it this way. Now I'm taking a piece of this buffalo check ribbon, and I'm using that as my hanger. And I found some little pieces of boxwood pick, glued that on in the middle. Made 2 little bows from the same gingham ribbon. And then the Silent Night that I had printed out, I only had Silent Night and it was a little bit too big, so I had to cut it in 2. If you're still here, give me a Christmas tree emoji in the comments below. Glued on a little pine cone. Of course, I can't leave my pine cone out. And then for the third one, I got this roll of lace ribbon from a friend of mine. So I'm using that one for this. Use that as a hanger. I'm also going to make a bow with it. I clipped off this little piece of greenery from another pick, and I'm going to use that for this one. Glue that in the middle. Or I glued on the ribbon and then glued on the berry underneath that or above that. I kind of stuck it in between the folds. And then I finished the third one, and for this one I just took the black paint pen and wrote Jesus on there and then finished the embellishment. And here they are, all complete. So here we are for the final reveal, guys. These are our little ornaments, Silent Night and Jesus. I really love how all of these turned out. I love the song sheet background. And those teeny weeny pine cones are so pretty. I love the pop of red against the black and white, as well as the black and white words. And here is our two-tone sign, Merry Christmas, with a pop of green. I love that as well. And our picture frame, let me know if you think I should add something red or green to this. I love the black and white effect, but sometimes a little pop of red or a little pop of green just makes it pop. To follow me on social media, you can scan this QR code to my Linktree address, and there you will find all the platforms to reach me. Or check my description box for more information. So there you have it, guys. Don't forget to check out the host channels as well as the playlist down below. And if you love budget-friendly content like these, to keep watching, watch this video next or this playlist. And stay safe, my friends, until my next one. Bye!